What's going on, everybody? David Feldman-Makrias back with you, and this is all about the numbers that car dealers need to know. There's so many numbers to measure in business these days, but the ones that I'm talking about are a specific category related to your digital presence that's going to allow you to sell more cars for less money, less advertising cost. You're going to be more efficient with your actual advertising. You're going to get more bang for the buck. You can actually even increase advertising and start to really compound those results. And all this stuff is going to lead to more sales. So that's why we're talking about it. Okay. So let's get into it right now. But even before we get into what these numbers are, we need to define a couple things. So what we're going to measure today is what I call digital business outcomes. Again, that is digital business outcomes. Let's talk about what that is. So digital business outcomes, what are they? And I'm going to abbreviate or interchange them with digital wins. Okay. So a digital win for your dealership is when something good happens online that helps you sell or service a car. We're really talking a lot about sales, but service is in there too. These are digital business outcomes. It's a sign that a potential customer is interested and moving closer to doing business with you. These wins, again, digital wins or digital business outcomes, are things you can track and measure on your website or through your online ads. Okay. We're going to break this out very, very simply. So now, as we move forward, we're going to start to talk about the categories of what these digital business outcomes are. So you've heard me mention, if you've watched this channel before, ASC events. ASC stands for the Automotive Standards Council. They're effectively events that import into Google Analytics. And I like to use this because if you're using a common provider like a Dealer Inspire, a Dealer.com, Remora, Dealer eProcess, what are the other ones? Pixel Motion, any like certified vendor for a new car franchise, you will have those partner websites actually will standardize these events because of the work that the Automotive Standards Council has done. So I'm getting into my next slide a little bit, but why do ASC events count as digital business outcomes? So they count because ASC events are digital wins because they provide proof that your digital efforts are working. They show you where customers are engaging, what they're interested in, and how you can better serve their needs to achieve your business objectives. They're not just random clicks. They're not just random impressions. They're meaningful interactions that drive real world results. So I almost combined real and world into one word. So real world results, okay? That's why this is an example of a digital business outcome. Because again, digital business outcomes, if we go back, it's a digital win for your dealership when something good happens online that helps you sell or service a car. That's it. So how do we track all that? There's so many different ways for a customer to engage with our website, to engage with our ads. How do we prioritize and track all the different things? Because, hey, someone clicking on a banner might be important, but I know someone submitting a lead is really important. How do we differentiate all that, right? So that's why we're talking about ASC events as an example of digital business outcomes. There's more examples. There's actually a lot more customization you can do, but let's just take that as an example, okay? So let's move on to the next. Awareness, exposure, visibility, reach, impressions, attention, brand awareness, brand recognition, top of mind awareness, mind share, discovery, first touch, initial contact, problem recognition, need recognition, market awareness, creating buzz. What do all those words have in common? Well, let's keep going. Interest, engagement, consideration, desire, evaluation, research, comparison, learning, education, information, gathering, problem solving, solution finding, needs analysis, product research, service research. And then finally, once I move my head, decision, action, conversion, purchase, acquisition, closing, sales, revenue. lead conversion, customer acquisition, purchase intent, ready to buy, sales qualified lead, SQL, opportunity, deal, contract, proposal, quote, demo, trial, consultation. So you might see some similarities in all these words that just threw out at you. And there's a reason that they're bucketed together, right? So let's actually determine what that reason is. We have a marketing funnel, right? If you at all know about marketing, you'll probably hear, oh, funnel, how's my funnel? How's my funnel optimization? There's all these different layers of funnels. I like to make it more simple rather than more complex. So essentially, you have this guy, and this guy here. These are 3 different sections to the funnel. Hey, there's 3 different sections to the funnel. All right, so these 3 sections, let's figure out what those sections are. TOF, top of funnel. We have things like awareness, exposure, recognition. People are becoming aware that, oh, there's a problem in my life, or there's a problem I need to solve. That's now at the forefront of my mind, right? That's what this actually represents. In the car buying journey, someone is aware that they need to buy a new car, right? Or that they're aware that it's potentially good for them because they can have a good deal better than they thought. That's where that top of funnel awareness comes into play. Then we have MOF, middle of funnel. So now we're getting some interest, we're engaging, we're comparing vehicles, we're problem solving, we're starting to research, we're figuring out, like, the best thing I can think of is when you take, if it's a new car, you're taking, a Hyundai Palisade versus, a Kia Sorento, and you're looking at the two side by side, comparing the miles per gallon, such and such, whatever. You're even starting to get into a little bit of, okay, where should I buy my car, right? Where should I buy it? Should I go down the street? Should I just Google my local Kia dealer? I don't really like the car salesman experience. What am I trying to do here? That's your middle of funnel, right? And then finally, your BOF, can't put my face anywhere without it being in the way. Bottom of funnel is, okay, we need to make a decision. I have the cash ready. I did all my research. I know the car that I want. I'm looking for the best deal. Where can I get the best proposal? Can I take this proposal and cross shop it with another proposal to get even a better deal? So on and so forth. So when we think of the marketing funnel, it should be pretty simple. When you hear these words or derivations of these words, you're going to be able to now associate what they mean in this overall hierarchy. We have a tendency to make everything super complex. I want to help make it simple, right? So now let's keep looking at that. And remember what we talked about before we got into funnels? We talked about digital business outcomes and measuring numbers that we need to know, right? So let's keep going. ASC events. So ASC events, again, to mini recap. The reason why we're talking about ASC events is because they are a standard event that can be included as a digital business outcome. They're really, really important. They tell you about all the different things that's happening on your digital presence. For instance, and I'm not going to go into definitions now, but for instance, we're going to relate them to actual business outcomes that you see every day on your sales floor. Okay, got our marketing funnel back. Top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. Now, let's list out some events. We're going to talk about 18 of them. I'm not going to define all of them now. I just want to briefly go over these 18. Now, as we increase in time, there might be more than 18. We might increase. Some of your key events may not be on here. Some of them may be on here. But these are the ones you gotta know. These are the digital benchmarks, the digital business outcomes that you need to be aware of. And that's how you can benchmark yourself, not only against other dealers or what the national average should be, but also benchmark against yourself and how you can improve performance. So first view, ASC page view, ASC item page view, ASC item list page view, ASC menu interaction, ASC special offer. That's what we're categorizing into the top of the funnel. These are the metrics that we're going to measure to get top of funnel awareness. All right, next. Then we have ASC CTA interaction. ASC element configuration, ASC media interaction, ASC comm engagement, ASC voice engagement, ASC video call engagement. Those are your middle of funnel. And let me preface, it's okay if you don't know what these mean. Again, I'm going to repeat, it's okay if you don't know what these mean, because we're going to define them all. It's not going to be in this video, but it's going to be in related videos on this channel. Be on the lookout for that. That is coming soon. And finally, we have ASC click to call, ASC form engagement, ASC form submission, ASC comm submission, ASC voice submission, ASC video call submission, ASC voice sale. Notice they're all prefaced by that little ASC. They all have a little bracket separating the space. That's some coding jargon. Now, you may have heard of some of this before. Some of it sounds familiar, right? I'm trying to move my face to get out of the way. But here, if we do an arrow, that's your bottom of funnel. So you may have heard of some of this stuff before. You may have heard of a click to call. You may have heard of a CTA. You may have heard of a form submission. I mean, you most definitely heard of a form submission. So the reason why these are so important is because we need to prioritize our actions. You know, we can go and throw a bunch of spaghetti at the wall at the top of funnel. But if our middle of funnel and bottom of funnel are not reaching their certain key performance benchmarks, then we're not going to sell more cars, right? So what does that translate to? Well, I'm going to go spend $10,000 more a month in social media advertising. Well, where does social media advertising fit in this? And if it does, are we leading people back to the website? And if we are they actually, is the website actually optimized to get these events that I want? So that's what we're talking about. That's the type of stuff. It's like, I've seen it so many times where a vendor comes in and says, you need to be on this AI platform, especially within the last year. You need to be on this AI platform. And people hear AI and they want to sign up with things. And you're like, okay, let's do it. But if it's not executed and we don't really have a plan of where that goes in the funnel, what it replaces, what it overlaps, and what key benchmark or key number, key metric that it associates to, then we're destined to fail because we are just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. This is a reverse engineering approach of how we can understand better how we measure these digital business outcomes. So, as a quick example, and I'm going to get into further definitions like I said, ASC CTA interaction, what does that mean? That's essentially someone coming to your website and clicking a button. Great. So what does that translate to? Well, that might translate to a customer pulling in your lot, looking at a vehicle, and then trying to flag down a salesperson because they have a specific question about the car. So you may think of that and go, hey, if I see a customer out there as an owner, a general manager, a marketing manager, whoever's watching this, if I see a customer out there and they're trying to flag a salesman down and I don't see my salesman going out there and doing a good job trying to answer their question, that's like the first deadly sin of salesmanship, of selling. So for this one, as an example, we need to make sure that's optimized correctly. And then oftentimes it's not. That's just one example. We're going to get into how to do this. We're going to get into how to streamline this. We're going to get into all of this stuff in the subsequent videos. And it's actually going to help you, not just now, but in the future, because you'll be able to definitively go, okay, this vendor wants to sell me something. They want to sell me $5,000 worth of this advertising or this AI or this path sequence, whatever. How do I measure it? How do I benchmark it? And how do I know it's going to be effective? Because I don't really have an idea of exactly how it works, but I do like the concept of it. This is a foolproof way to help measure that. And we're relating it all to digital business outcomes because those are the numbers you need to know. Ultimately, we're all judged on sales, even the advertising, even whatever. You're all judged on sales because guess what? Even though I can't go and sell a car for you, well, I could, but that's not the service I offer. Even though I can't do that, then I'm still judged by it. So we need to make sure we know all of our metrics and know all of our numbers in this digital era. With that being said, ASC events explained coming soon. I'm going to break down every single event and what they mean. And I'm going to correlate it to something that is very, very understandable in the dealership world. Again, I've worked with I live with a car dealer. You know, I was raised by one. I have been in the business for pretty much my entire life. So I know the disconnect between what's happening with, you know, what's happening with the digital technological revolution and actually just getting down to the nitty-gritty stuff that's going to sell cars. That's why we need to have these explained. That's why this is so important to know your numbers. This is the reason how we can get more efficient, standardize our numbers, standardize our digital business outcomes and practices, and ultimately sell and service more cars. Now, a lot of what I'm talking about is going to be focused on sales. We'll get into service. Let me know in the comments what you think of this strategy. And I'm very, very excited to continue this event explanation series. You'll see videos coming soon. Thank you so much, guys. David Feldman-Makrias. Talk to you soon.